Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor ThorgE, your guide to all things geeky, and it's blazing hot outside. I have no script and no idea what I'm about to say, and I'm completely exhausted because I have to make about a dozen different videos this week. You know what that means? It's time for E3! Oh my goodness, can you believe it's been a year since the last one already? I can't, because about half the games that are being advertised at this E3 were advertised at the last E3. Yes, every single year I make multiple videos talking about everything that we see at E3, and this year is no exception. I'm going to have 5 different videos this week, all dedicated to E3, and in part 1, I'm going to be taking a look at the Microsoft slash Xbox. I don't have time to go back and do double takes on this. We gotta get these videos out, people. I will be taking a look at the Microsoft slash Xbox Expo and talking about all the big reveals that came out there. Okay, I won't be talking about all the big reveals that came out there because this is a Professor ThorgE channel. By this point, you guys know me, you know my taste, you know what I'm into, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. Every single year that I tune in to the Microsoft Xbox conference, Microsoft always makes it really clear to me within the first 5 minutes, this console just ain't for me. It just isn't. And that's not a judgment in any way, shape, or form. That's not me coming in here and going, oh, this is a terrible console and there's nothing on here that I would ever want to play. No, it's just, hey man, every single one of these Xbox conferences starts off with them going, look at how good these cars look. I don't give 2 craps about how realistic you make your cars look. Every single year they come in here and advertise how amazing their new driving game is going to be. I just don't care, man. And if you like them, kudos to you. That's awesome. I'm glad that you have that thing that you enjoy. I can't even fake excitement for this. It means nothing to me. And this year was no exception. This year, they didn't just show off their new driving game. They showed off just a car. And not like a special car that would be in there. This was just the reveal of a brand new car that you could like buy in real life and drive. Listen, if the guys who make Skyrim ever want to come out and just go, hey, listen, we genetically engineered a real dragon that you can go and ride, hey, then I'm intrigued, then I'm down. It's just you showing off a car at my video game conference. Get your cars out of my video game conference. I'm not saying that I can't enjoy racing games, but a very specific type of racing game. I couldn't help but crack up a little bit when they came out there and said, we have worked hard and tirelessly to make this the most dynamic and exciting driving game of all time. And all I can think is that the guys over at the Nintendo booth right now were going, quick, pick up that mushroom so you can speed past your enemy, then hit them with a turtle shell, then get the lightning bolt to shrink them in size as you do the giant loop-de-loop that goes upside down before you hit the bumper pinball things. Oh my goodness, it's the most dynamic and exciting thing ever. Unlike this, which is just more real, actual cars driving. I don't care. I don't care. So at that point, you guys should know where I'm coming from. So yeah, I just wanted to warn you guys of that. I'm going to go over the games at the Xbox conference that did pique my interest, but I'm not going to address all of them because a lot of the games that they showed off just kind of made me go, you know, I'm sure someone out there is going to enjoy that. Sure, cool, awesome. I'm more here for the anime vampires that they showed off. That's kind of the lane that I'm in. But before I get into the actual games themselves, of which there were many, despite the fact that Microsoft feels the need to stop after almost every trailer to come out there and introduce a car and then have a press conference, you know, they actually still did manage to fit in a bunch of trailers in this time, so kudos to you guys on that. But before I get into the actual games, let's talk about the big reveal that started this conference and kind of set the tone for the entire evening. Ever since last year, we have been hearing about this Project Scorpio. It was supposed to be a far more powerful version of the Xbox One. It's like, okay, cool. So you're going to give us this new improved Xbox One, kind of like the PlayStation Pro was. Well, the PlayStation Pro goes for $400. I wonder how much yours is going to go for. $500. Okay. But, you know, you say it's the most powerful system out there. I mean, it's even more powerful than the PlayStation Pro. So for people out there who are really looking for that, that's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and be totally honest with you guys. Video games have reached a point in which the graphics are so jaw-droppingly amazing. I don't really need something even better than that. Like, the max goodness that we have in video games right now, that's kind of as much as I need. when you go beyond this point, I can't really tell the difference anymore. So I'm not really all that impressed with 4K gaming systems, and that's not me picking on this new Xbox console. I'm saying the same thing about the PlayStation Pro. I'm still just fine with my PlayStation 4. I don't really need to upgrade just yet. I'm totally fine. But it's an extra $100, man. So if I do end up upgrading, man, you've already lost that one battle. But hey, PlayStation Pro? You know, that's a decent name. But Project Scorpio, that's a badass name. That's the name of a console that I want to hold up there and tell everyone I just bought me a Xbox One X. What? This is like Wii U levels of bad naming. I know some people out there are going to go, why are you talking about this? The name of the console doesn't matter at all. All it matters is what it is. Never go into marketing because you don't know the first thing about it. I'm sorry, the name does help. The name does help to decide which console you want to buy. And Xbox One X is the most jumbled name I've ever heard for a console. Seriously, I was watching this on Twitch, and in the chat box, someone said the new console is going to be named Xbox One X. Then they come out and say it's named Xbox One X, and the guy just went, oh my god, I was joking about that. I didn't think there was any way in hell they would actually name it something that stupid. Someone's joke answer in the chat I was watching was what it actually was. This is not a good sign, guys. Listen, you make great pieces of software. You make really solid games. Kudos to you on that. But none of that means jack if you can't sell it. If you can't actually get people to look at it and go, well, I clearly need to own that thing. Yeah, man, Xbox One X is a bad name. In fact, I mentioned I was watching this on Twitch. I don't think anyone in that Twitch chat actually paid attention to the next half hour of this conference because they just spent the entire time coming up with other joke answers to what your next console could be named. I came up with the Xbox X. It makes sense when you actually spell it all out. Again, I'm not saying that the console isn't great, it's just I don't really see any need to upgrade at the point. And yeah, man, if I am going to upgrade an extra $100 and a name that just sounds ridiculous, dude, come on. You kind of shot yourselves in the foot on this one. But let's move into the actual games. As I said, there were a lot in here that actually did look really interesting, and some of them are actually going to be Xbox exclusive. And by Xbox exclusive, I mean I can still play them on my PC, meaning I don't actually have to buy an Xbox. Now, the first two games that they showed off was Metro Exodus, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't play the last Metro game because I looked at it and I was just kind of like, yeah, it looks like someone will enjoy it, but it doesn't look like my thing. It just looks a little bit too grizzled and grimy, which, you know, I like a little bit more bright, poppy, colorful stuff in my post-apocalyptic games. This one, you're outside and there are werewolves and other mutated monsters running around. You see a weird mutant bear running at you at the end. Okay, I'm sold on this game. I am actually really damn intrigued by this game. I want to see more before I am convinced to go out there and buy it. Might even wait to hear a couple of reviews, but damn, this was a good trailer. Right off the bat, Microsoft, they're starting to recover a little bit from the Xbox X. Next up, they showed off the new Assassin's Creed game, and I'll be honest with you, Assassin's Creed, again, another game franchise out there that kudos to you if you like it. I've played a little bit of it. It's not my thing. That's it. I don't think it's a bad game. No, just not my game. I tried it. Didn't stick with me. However, I will say I do actually really like what they're doing with this one. Because despite the fact that I don't really dig the gameplay in Assassin's Creed, again, not that's bad, just not my type of gameplay, just not the stuff that I enjoy, I do enjoy going online and hearing people talk about the lore. I do enjoy going online and hearing people talk about the story behind all the Assassin's Creed games. And this one is going to be the origin of the Assassins. It's going further back in time than ever before, and you're going to see how the Assassins actually started. Cool! I always actually really enjoy an origin story, so that's actually a question that I never really bothered to ask with these games. Where did it all begin? And it's ancient Egypt. So, oh my gosh, is that ever a different setting than anything we've gotten before? So, man, even if it's a game that I'm not going to play, I applaud them so much for doing something so new with this game. Next up was Battlegrounds, State of K2, and I'm also going to jump to the end of this conference and throw Crackdown 3 into this category because, again, I know that I sound like the most bitter, jaded critic out there who doesn't enjoy anything, but yeah, man, again, these three, they fit into the category of I'm sure people out there are going to love them, but they are not my type of games. I have no interest in any of those three. I'm sorry, I know I sound so bitter and jaded. I'm just trying to get all these ones out of the way right now so I can get into the stuff I really dig. I swear I'm going to be excited about something in just a second. Although I will say, even though I have no interest in Crackdown 3, you got Terry Crews in that trailer. So I'm interested in at least part of this. I'm interested in your advertising campaign for it. Okay, next up, they started showing off a lot more non-console exclusive stuff, although I'll get to the whole problem with Microsoft console exclusive stuff at the end of this. But next up, they started showing off some stuff that's going to be it's going to be on all consoles, and the first one was Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z. Now, I used to love the Dragon Ball fighting games. I had a blast with them when they first came out. I loved just how they captured that big, crazy feeling of the gigantic battles of these games. But then after a while, I started going, well, yeah, these are all kind of the same, man. I've seen all these characters before. You're getting really desperate to find ways to include new characters in here. All the fighting mechanics are kind of the same in here. Yeah, man, I've seen all this and done all this several times over now. You need to give me something new. This one's being made by the people who make Guilty Gear. It's 2D fighters, 3v3, and you can call in assist players. Okay, that's new, and that has me excited. For the first time in maybe 10 freaking years, I am actually really excited for a Dragon Ball fighting game. Not words I was expecting to come out of my mouth, but oh my goodness. First off, I will always prefer 2D fighters to 3D fighters, even though I fully understand why 3D fighters works better for the Dragon Ball characters. However, when it comes to 2D fighters, the people who make Guilty Gear and BlazBlue and the Persona fighting games, they're the kings of 2D fighting, especially for big, crazy anime fighters. Dragon Ball Z is the biggest, craziest anime fighter franchise out there. And I actually got to see a match of 3 villains versus 3 heroes, and I got to see all the crazy combos and all the amazing mechanics that went into this, and all the insane supers where you're actually blowing up parts of the planet with them. This looks like the greatest possible Dragon Ball Z fighting game of all time. I might not be hyped for anything else this year more than this game. Again, I have not said that about anything Dragon Ball related since I was like 20. Next up is the Darwin Project, and I actually got to watch an interview with the developers of this game, and they were talking about all the crazy mechanics that were going to go into this, about how you're not just fighting your opponents in this game, but you're also building stuff up. You actually have to construct different crazy weapons to use in this game, and there's actually a ton of different possibilities, and basically it's one of those where it's like, your imagination is the only limitation, which typically when games say that, it means there's actually a massive limitation on this, but we're starting to actually reach that point with video games, where that's becoming a little bit more true with every new generation, where you actually can come up with even more crazy things. I always get a little bit hesitant whenever developers talk about how, oh, there's almost an infinite number of different combinations you can make, because like, yeah, man, you're just kind of setting me up to be disappointed, but I was watching this and I was actually pretty darn impressed with all the different weird, crazy weapons you were able to come up with in this thing. And I was never really that into mass multiplayer competitive games, but Overwatch changed all of that, and one of the things that really got me into Overwatch was the crazy cartoonish nature of that world, and this actually is kind of embracing more of a crazy cartoonish tone, so okay, I'm actually intrigued. Next up, you know how I said that Xbox tends to focus more on like driving games or sport games, stuff that I'm not really that into, as made obvious by the fact that I just called them sport games? Yeah, you know what I'm into? Big, geeky, dumb stuff. I enjoy stupid anime games. I enjoy crazy Japanese stuff. They gave us Code Vein at this thing. I had never heard of this thing, but I was watching this going, oh my god, it's just insane, ballistic anime vampires fighting giant demon things. It looked almost like Darksiders meets Devil May Cry meets just a bucket full of anime tropes. I'm okay with every single one of those things meshing together, and the gameplay actually looks awesome. The fighting and the monsters and the world and all the big super moves that people were pulling out, I was so excited for this. Although the art direction actually looks a little bit weird in this game to me, because I actually really dig the design of the protagonist of all the heroes, because all of them actually have really unique designs to them, especially like when their armor comes around them. I thought that actually looked really darn cool, or as I said, when they're actually pulling out their big super moves. But they have like a cel-shaded look to them, but there's a moment in which you see it focusing on the villains, and the villains do not have that cel-shaded look. I'm like, is this like part of the lore of the game? Like only the heroes have this look? Like they're not part of this world? Like what's going on? Because I kind of dig that, but I can also understand people looking at this and going, man, these characters in this world do not mesh at all. Yeah, man, I can kind of understand it. I'm not going to blame anybody who has a problem with that, but I don't have a problem with that. Speaking of weird Japanese-looking games, Ori and the Will of Wisp. I have no idea what this game is about. I know nothing about this game at all, but oh my god, does it look gorgeous. This was one of the most impressive trailers I saw, and it didn't even tell me anything. It was nothing but design and music, and both those things were stunning to me. Just that thing there at the end where you have like the two giant bird things, maybe they weren't even birds, maybe it was like just a mountain in the shape of birds. I don't even know what the heck it was, but it was intriguing. It made me want to learn. It made me want to play this game, which obviously is what a trailer is supposed to do, so mission accomplished. Speaking of trailers that really got me intrigued to play the games, that's kind of a weird sentence, but go with me on this. Sea of Thieves. I honestly did not care about Sea of Thieves. I know that the entire internet has been looking forward to this. This has been one of the most anticipated games out there in the big video game infosphere. People have been excited about this for the longest time. I really still, despite my love for Overwatch, have not been the biggest fan of big multiplayer games online. They're just not my thing. And also, I don't give two cruds about pirates. I really don't. I know that there are people out there who are massive pirate fans out there. Not my thing. Just don't really care about them. However, watching this trailer, and actually watching you go and like find treasure and then have to escape from that and join your team and then you can get eaten by a shark, this is the first trailer I've actually seen for this game that actually made me go, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. Maybe this will be something that I really get into and I really end up enjoying. Next is probably the biggest surprise of this entire conference. Super Lucky's Tale. It is just a fun, all ages platformer game with a fox jumping around. That's it. Just not rated T for teen because there's weird jokes in there that might not be appropriate for kids. It doesn't look like it's got some weird, deep, new mechanics that are trying to break the laws of physics. It's just a fun platformer with a cute little fox mascot. And it looks freaking adorable. It looks so darn cute. This is not the thing that I think of when I think of Xbox. But if that's what they're going to give me, maybe it's time I start changing the way that I think about Xbox. As I said, this is kind of what Xbox needs to do if it wants to bring in another audience. This will bring in another audience. And I actually saw an interview with the developers of this game after the conference was over with, and they actually said that one thing that they miss from video games, one thing that doesn't exist anymore, is that when that new console comes out, where's the mascot character? Where is that mascot character that you look at and go, that's the character who belongs on that system, and that's their home, and that's what I'm going to think of in this generation? Yeah, we don't really have that. I mean, there are franchise mascots, but not really like generation mascots, not really console mascots anymore. So I actually really dig that they're trying to recapture that. They're really trying to come in here and go, here is an all ages mascot for brand new video gamers out there. For all the kids out there, we want this to be your Sonic, to be your Mario, to be your... I was gonna say Bubsy, but screw Bubsy. Bubsy sucked. I don't even care if you guys are excited that he's coming back. His games were awful. They also announced a ton of new indie games that are going to be exclusive to their console. I'll tell you what I mean by that in just a second, including Cuphead. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit ticked that you guys got Cuphead to be exclusive, but at the same time, kudos to you. You guys sat back and watched people salivate over this game for years waiting for it to come out. And you did the right move and came in here and went, you know what? If people are that excited for this thing and slowly turn it into another The Last Guardian where people don't even know if it's ever going to come out, let's snatch that baby up. And indeed you did. Good for you. And the last game that I'm going to talk about is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Now, I will go ahead and admit to you guys, I've never played the previous game in this franchise myself, but I have watched a couple of other Let's Players out there play it. In fact, if you guys want a good time, look up the Sunday streaming episode of Rage Select where they played it, and they kept dying to the same character over and over and over again, who kept coming back to life over and over and over again. It was hilarious.
Oh! No, put it in there and fucking kill that son of a bitch!
Snackbox is dead! He's gonna come back from the dead. I feel it in my heart of hearts.
Damn it!
1 hour later.
Fiction that's coming out of this. Why is he green?
Because I can. Oh! No! 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 What the?
2 hours later.
The gameplay thing.
Wait! Why won't he stay dead? Why won't he die?
For as long as you live, so shall he.
So even though I've never played it myself, I do know all about the different mechanics of this game, and I've always found it to be very intriguing. And as I was watching this trailer, I don't know if I actually want to play this game for the protagonist, for the different mechanics, for all the other weird Middle-earth stuff they'll throw in there, or if I just want to play this game for that orc. The orc who you meet at the beginning of this gameplay trailer is the most charming orc in the world. That is a charismatic orc. 2 words I never thought I would ever put together. In fact, I don't know who you're actually playing as in this game. I will gladly pay for some DLC to just get rid of that guy, make this charming orc the new protagonist.
You serve the bright lord now.
Bright Lord, Dark Lord, same thing really. End result's me ripping spines out, which I like to do anyway, so either way's a win.
So okay, there you go. Those are all the games I wanted to talk about. They did announce several other ones, but as I said, I don't have time to cover every single one of those things. However, was this enough to get me to buy an Xbox? I am currently loving my PlayStation 4 and my Switch. Should I go ahead and get an Xbox One? Well, I'll admit, there are a ton of games that they said would be exclusive to the Xbox, which has been Xbox's biggest problem, that they have not had nearly enough games just for their console, and these games do look good, so yeah, maybe I should buy it, is what I would be saying if I didn't have a PC. Yeah, as I said, the Xbox's biggest problem this entire time has just been a lack of exclusive games. And this E3, they came out and announced a ton of games that would not be on the Switch and would not be on the PlayStation 4, but they're still going to be on Steam. A lot of those games I was looking at and I was like, oh my goodness, it's only going to be on the Xbox? Oh man, I really want to play that. Maybe I should go ahead and buy an Xbox. And then I actually looked it up and it said, yeah, it's also coming to Windows 10. I was like, oh, I have Windows 10 already on my computer. And my computer's more powerful than an Xbox One. Unless I decide to spend $500 to get the Xbox One X, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, you know what, I'm fine just sticking with my computer. So yeah, Microsoft. I know that you sell a ton of these games to PC users, and you don't want to take away that market, but it would probably help your Xbox a ton if you could just come in here and go, it's going to be exclusive to the Xbox for a month. Just a month. Then if you PC users still want to play it on the PC, go ahead. It's there for you. Have fun with it. But if you want to play it ahead of time, you have to actually buy an Xbox. If you came out and said that 5 of these games would be available on the Xbox One a month before they were available on the PC, you would actually get a lot of people going out there and buying Xbox Ones. They'd be mad about it, they'd be disgruntled, but they would be walking away with an Xbox. And yeah, man, let's be honest, that's what you need to have happen. It doesn't matter if they're disgruntled at you. What matters is whether or not they will buy your console. Because you have been doing a ton of stuff with your Xbox to make it more powerful, to make it smaller, to make it have backwards compatibility. All these great, amazing things. But where are the games, man? You showed us a ton of games, and they look great, and I want to play them. And I don't know an Xbox, but I don't have to play these games. That's your problem. But I don't know, that's just me, and as I said, our E3 coverage, it's just me rambling. It's just the thoughts right off the top of my head. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the Microsoft conference. And if you want to see my coverage, that makes it sound like I'm a journalist. If you want to see my crazy ramblings about all the other press conferences from Sony and Nintendo and everybody else, those will be coming up over the next couple days, so make sure you click that subscribe button and make sure that you come back for those videos. And you can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr at Professor ThorgE. Thank you guys for tuning in. Come back next time. Bye.